Hey guys, what's going on? It's Riley here with Canadian Dividend Investing, and welcome to episode 1 of my new series. As you can see in the title, it is investing $1,000 in the S&P 500 every week for a year, and this is obviously week number 1. So it might be tedious, a little bit tedious for old viewers or old subscribers, but I'm going to go through everything I'm going to be doing moving forward. As you can see, the account is back to or at $1,000. Right now I'm using the Questrade app, and a cool new feature of Questrade is they actually have 0 commissions for buying and selling stocks. So probably because of that, one of my favorite brokerages at the moment. Again, Wealthsimple is great too. Links in the description if you haven't signed up for those brokerages. Get to investing as soon as possible, because that's compounding growth for you. Anyways, we're gonna get back to the video. Basically what I'm gonna be doing, as the title says, on a weekly basis is investing in the S&P 500. Now, I'm sure you've heard this word lots of times, the S&P. Basically it stands for Standard & Poor's 500. It is a index fund. What an index fund is, it's a basket of a bunch of stocks put together. And this one in particular is 500 of not necessarily the top companies, but the companies that Standard & Poor's chooses to be in these 500 companies. And if a company goes below the value that they want it to be, then it's actually kicked out of the 500 companies. So it's kind of continuously being changed with companies into the S&P. Hopefully I'm making sense for you guys, but again, it's a great investment tool. Tons of different books, studies say it's the best way of investing long term, because again, like I said, it's an index fund. Now, the cool thing about index funds, I'm sure you guys have maybe heard about mutual funds as well, and I don't want to go off too much of a tangent, but mutual funds are usually actively managed, but have what's called a high management expense ratio, or MER. So you're paying high fees to have someone buy and sell and trade stocks within that mutual fund. Now, an index fund is maybe less actively managed, but it has a much lower MER, or management expense ratio. So basically you're giving them a percentage of what you're making or what you're buying the stock for them creating it. So I would definitely recommend index funds over mutual funds for sure, and specifically the S&P 500. And the one that I buy in Canada is VFV.to, or VFV. Basically what it is it's a Canadian hedged tracking that follows the S&P 500, so I can buy it in Canadian dollars and sell it in Canadian dollars, rather than having to buy a US stock and then convert it back to Canadian dollars, which you can do, and there's some merit to that as well, but just for simplicity's sake, I like to buy this specific stock, and I would recommend you guys do the same. Again, do your due diligence, don't just go out and buy it because I say so, but I would definitely recommend you guys looking further into that. So what we're going to be doing in this portfolio is dollar cost averaging. What dollar cost averaging means is we're going to be investing the same amount on a weekly basis. And again, it's one of the most proven strategies for long-term growth, because when the market goes down, you're picking those shares up on a lower amount, and then when the market increases, you're still picking up shares. So it actually evens out. You're not trying to time the market. It's more time in the market, if that makes sense. So again, a lot of little bombs thrown at you guys today. Hopefully this all makes sense to you. And if you've been a viewer of my channel, sorry, it's a little bit tedious. I've preached these things for a long time, but again, the more you preach something, the closer it gets to your mind, and for you guys to use it and apply it into your lives. So without further ado, let's make our first buy into this account. Again, going to be investing $1,000 or so every week into the S&P 500. So I'm just going to blur my screen quick, just because the account numbers and whatnot, but we're going to make a buy into VFV. So here we go, first buy. So VFV.to right now, it's actually trading quite high. It's at 154.40. If you guys were tuning into my previous videos, you knew that I sold off a bunch of VFV, and that's because I needed it for a down payment. If I didn't, I would continue to invest as I'm doing today. So we're gonna go dollar amount and see how many shares we can pick up with $1,000, and that ends up being 6 shares at $9.26. And it's cool that Questrade did last week just announced no commission fees for buying and selling. And yes, I am definitely satisfied with the experience. Questrade was just asking me. So we're down slightly already, and that's just fluctuations into the market. So we are at 999.76 cents. Apart from that, someone in the comments, and something I'm going to be doing on a more regular basis, is either the top comment or a comment in my video. In my previous video, I'm going to answer that question. So one person asked me their username, sorry if I butcher this, Kurtipuri4038 asked, please make a video on how dividends work in VDY. So VDY, like we talked about before, is another index fund. It's a great fund. I actually invest into VDY as well in my tax-free savings account or my TFSA. The dividend on VDY is a lot higher than VFV, and I don't think I explained the dividend of VFV. I think it's sitting right now at 0.96%. So basically how that works is this company, Vanguard specifically, for both of these shares, actually Vanguard owns both of these, they're paying you also to own the stock. So for you holding the stock, they're giving you a reimbursement, and it's 0.96%. So you're like, what does this number mean? Basically, it's 0.96% of the dollar amount that you own, they will pay you back as a dividend. Sometimes these are paid back monthly, sometimes quarterly. I think in this case, it's paid every 3 months. So this will go back into your account, and it is paid out as a dividend, and you can reinvest it or pull it out of the account. So at 0.96%, it depends on how many shares you own as to the dollar amount equivalent. VDY, they have a little bit of a higher dividend, obviously, based on the stocks that they own in the portfolio. They're sitting right now at 4.36%. So two great stocks to invest in. I invest in both of these stocks. I would definitely recommend you guys look further into them. But hopefully that's a good explanation of dividends. And if you guys have any other questions, comments, concerns, link down below for everything, including my Discord, or you can ask me in the comments and I'll try to get back to you guys in the following video. So apart from that, I just want to be showing the dividends of this portfolio. Obviously, we just invested into these different stocks, and we're actually above $1,000 now that I refreshed. But I'm going to go over to the Blossom account. I'm going to show you the total dividends with my portfolio, and then moving forward, I will show you guys, hopefully if I can make it work, the dividends that I'm earning just with this portfolio on a kind of yearly, monthly, and daily basis. So we're going to jump over to the Blossom app, Blossom Social. If you haven't downloaded that, link in the description as well, and we'll check back in 2 seconds. Hey guys, so this is the Blossom Social app. This is actually the pro version of the app where I can see my dividend forecast. So as you can see, both VDY and VFV are both highly invested into both of my accounts. Now, before you guys freak out and be like, how does this make sense? You only have $1,000 invested. This is all of my portfolio. So this is including my TFSA, FHSA, as well as non-registered accounts. So on an annual basis, I'm making $2,731 in dividends. On a monthly basis, $227, and on a daily basis, $7.48. This is lower compared to what I had before because I sold some stock off recently. Go check out those videos if you're interested to see what I did. Now, before I let you guys go, I am going to be posting a little bit more on TikTok, Instagram, and then I also mentioned my Discord. So if you guys haven't joined those, go join those, and don't forget to subscribe, like, comment. Hopefully you guys get a good comment up there and I can respond to that in my next video. So thank you guys so much for watching. Stay tuned for the new series of investing $1,000 every week into the S&P, and hope to see you guys next week and talk soon. Last but not least, happy investing.